Today on
Doomed!
Ladies and gentlemen, I think there has been a major misunderstanding over the past, year and a half now, ever since Elon Musk acquired Twitter, now known as X. And I think this misunderstanding is why we haven't been quite getting what Elon Musk wants to do with the platform and what he means when he says free speech. Because this week, two very bizarre cases or instances occurred that showcased that Elon Musk has a very different definition of free speech than what you or me or I think any other person logically thinking these things through defines free speech as. Anyway, let me pull myself up on the feed. We are now live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Matt Binder. Welcome to Doomed. I don't want to do. I mean, I do because I love doing them because these are fun for me. But I don't want people to get sick of. That's probably the better way to frame this. I don't want people to get sick of the Elon Musk, Twitter, X, whatever episodes I do. I mean, it is sort of my I guess, beat, my forte. I've pretty much established that this is, my my lane. But I don't want to be typecast as just the Elon guy, And I also don't want my audience to get sick and tired, of course, of these episodes. But until someone tells me not to do it, until someone says, "Hey, I don't want any more Elon episodes," which is yet to happen. It's yet to happen. I'm going to continue to do them because they're a lot of fun. But this week is certainly right up Doomed's alley. This is an episode that the people who've been watching this show from day one will truly enjoy because Elon Musk, when he acquired, and we could talk about how there's been many cases that can fit this episode in terms of like Elon Musk's bizarre definition of free speech. For example, when he suspended me and a number of other journalists in December of 2022 for reporting on the Elon jet banning, the account that tracked his private jet. That's certainly a interesting interpretation of what free speech is. In terms of, he always says that any speech that isn't illegal is free to reign on X. That means racial slurs, homophobic hate speech, misgendering trans people, all that in the clear. But then every now and then he comes up with a new policy of something he doesn't like. For example, he didn't like that account that was tracking his private jet via publicly available information. And then the last episode of this show, of Doomed, last week, I had on Lance from the Surf to talk about how Elon Musk had instituted a new policy to help some of his favorite anonymous far right-wing accounts remain anonymous. There was a investigative blog that came out that unveiled, allegedly, the identity of the individual behind a far-right webcomic creator who is very influential among the right-wing, creates racist, anti-Semitic, and openly neo-Nazi comics that then those very people share. And Elon Musk made sure to suspend anyone who shared his alleged real name that came out of that investigative report. Now, I'm going to actually, because we have these two even better examples, I'm going to say that, as a private platform, all the social media platforms fall under this definition: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Snapchat, whatever. As a privately owned social media platform, they can institute policies, and that's their prerogative. Of course, Elon's really the only one going about how he's Mr. Free Speech defender. But nonetheless, let's say that you can, again, really, really, really bending it for him. You can advocate for free speech, but have some rules that affect some speech on your platform and still be a free speech. We could argue that. I think that's something that you could argue. I disagree, but I can hear, there's speech that you might want to have moderated to protect users, of course. Again, it's interesting that racial slurs and things that attack minority groups and marginalized people, that's not considered, moderating that stuff isn't considered protecting those people. But, protecting your favorite anonymous far-right neo-Nazis and conspiracy theorists, that is protection. Right? That is fair moderation. But I digress. That's arguable. However, this week really, really proved just how bullshit it all is, honestly. Really. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. Because I bring to you today two events that happened this week. Two separate events. Two legal cases. One legal case that Elon Musk and company are directly involved in. Another legal case they sort of shoehorned their way into the aftermath of said legal case. And after I go through these two cases with you, and you might be familiar with them because I covered both of them earlier in the week, for Mashable. But if you haven't heard yet, as I break them down for you, I think, it'll really answer the question that I've put in the title of this episode. Does Elon Musk know what free speech is? And the answer to that, which you will all be presented the evidence, is that it does not seem like he does. It really does not. I was debating which one to start with, because one to me is obviously, you would lead with this one because it is a legal case that Elon Musk and his company, X, they filed. This is their lawsuit. But I'm going to start with the other event that happened this week. The legal case I mentioned earlier that X shoehorned their way. They sort of butted their heads into the aftermath. Because I think this is truly so fucking hilarious. This is honestly one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my life. And this is something I realized. And I noticed that a few other people on social media realized this, but no one covered this. People on social media, there were a few people here and there on social media that realized the hypocrisy of this case. But I didn't see anyone cover it in detail. So I did. And let me explain to you on this live stream show / podcast what's going on here. So there's a Canadian physician who was thrusted into the spotlight in 2020 in the very early months of the COVID-19 pandemic, Dr. Kulvinder Kaur Gill, Canadian physician, who published numerous posts in 2020 on the website that was then known as Twitter, that basically dabbled in COVID vaccine skepticism and anti-lockdown rhetoric. To give you an example of one of her tweets, in August of 2020, this is before vaccines were even available. If you have not yet figured out that we don't need a vaccine, you are not paying attention, she wrote. And she added the hashtag facts, not fear. And she, tweeted other things like there wasn't a need for any lockdowns, in like April and May of that year. Now listen. If you are someone who believes those things, which I would probably put you in the minority of my audience, but if you are a COVID vaccine skeptic or an anti-lockdown person or just a COVID conspiracy theorist in general, I'm going to ask you really hard that for the purpose of the point of this story, which is Elon Musk's free speech beliefs, that you just put aside whether you agree with the doctor or not. Now, I'm judging you for those beliefs. I do not agree with your beliefs, but the point of this story does not matter based on whether you are a COVID conspiracy theorist or you are a normal person. So try your best to just put aside that for a second. Because these comments from Dr. Gill put her in the spotlight, obviously. She had something like tens of thousands of Twitter followers, and she was saying this stuff at the height of the pandemic, before the vaccines. And so she was criticized for it. Her peers within the medical community, they called her out. They critiqued what she wrote. They replied to her on Twitter with their own opinions. Journalists with mainstream media outlets covered her posts. And because of that, Dr. Gill had a lawsuit on her hands. Now, I'm leaving something out here because I want to read what Elon Musk and X announced this week. So, this week, X, in a public statement, wrote, X is proud to help defend Dr. Kulvinder Kaur Gill against the government-supported efforts to cancel her speech. Dr. Gill is a practicing physician in Canada, specializing in immunology and pediatrics. Because she spoke out publicly on Twitter, now X, in opposition to the Canadian and Ontario government's COVID lockdown efforts and vaccination mandates, she was harassed by legacy media, censored by prior Twitter management, and subjected to investigations and disciplinary proceedings by the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Ontario. That resulted in cautions being placed on her permanent public record. The legal battles that ensued cost Dr. Gill her life savings, and she now owes $300,000 in a court judgment due Monday. When Elon Musk learned earlier this week about her crowdfunding campaign to pay the judgment, he pledged to help. X will now fund the rest of Dr. Gill's campaign, so that she can pay her $300,000 judgment and her legal bills. Free speech is the bedrock of democracy and a critical defense against totalitarianism in all forms. We must do whatever we can to protect it. And that X, we will always fight to protect your right to speak freely. Now, this sounds like Dr. Gill was taken to court by the local medical board. She was taken to court by the Canadian government. She had to go through legal battles to protect her license being taken away, her medical license being taken away from her, right? That's what it sounds like if you were to read all this, right? Well, that's because Elon Musk and X left out something very, very significant in this post, in this statement. Now, I mentioned earlier when I was detailing who Dr. Gill was, that she had a lawsuit on her hands, right? Well, what I purposely left out to really, add a little drama, some dramatic flair here. But what X seems to have purposely left out in their statement is that the lawsuit that Dr. Gill owes $300,000 for is a lawsuit that she filed against 23 individuals, which include her medical peers and the journalists at major news outlets, in an effort to silence their criticism of her. The lawsuit that she filed was struck down and dismissed by the judge under anti-SLAPP laws because the legal system saw through her attempt to use the legal process to silence her critics' speech. And because she filed this lawsuit that was clearly an effort to silence her critics, the judge ruled that she had to pay the defendants, the people she was suing, she had to pay their legal costs, which the final judgment was for $300,000. So let me really spell this out for you. Dr. Gill sued her critics to silence their speech. The judge threw the case out. I guess you would call that protecting free speech, and required Dr. Gill to pay the legal fees for the people she tried to shut up, so that they weren't on the hook for the costs to keep their speech free. Elon Musk and X have decided that in an effort to protect free speech, they are going to pay for Dr. Gill's lawsuit, which was meant to shut down free speech. I don't know how else to to put this in simpler terms for people who need it. I mean, some of the people she sued to shut up were individuals who criticized her on Twitter, aka X. So Elon Musk is paying to support her efforts to stifle people who were trying to use free speech on X. Make it make sense to me. Make it make sense to me. Like this seems to me to be like I mean, if there was ever a single example to really pull the rug from under these free speech guys, this is it. This is hypocrisy at its absolute highest. It's amazing. It's stunning to me. It's stunning to me. I mean, well, anyway, I had mentioned that wasn't it, right? There was another case. Case number 2. This is the one. I mean, that's sort of the thing about that first one, though. Like, they weren't even involved. They weren't in the lawsuit. The lawsuit that she filed. I can't get over it. And also, I should say, she wasn't. Her medical license was not taken away. This isn't like they're trying to, I guess free speech would be letting this doctor keep her license while being able to say these things. But her license was never taken away. The what do they say? How do they frame it again? I want to make sure I get this exactly how they put it. The disciplinary proceedings by the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Ontario that resulted in cautions being placed. A caution, for people who don't know, is basically a educational or remedial measure. It's not punitive. It's not a punishment. They issue a caution in an effort to put whichever medical doctor or surgeon that they issue it to basically tell them what they're doing wrong and put them on the right path. She was not in trouble. That's all caution was. And that had nothing to do with the lawsuit whatsoever, because she wasn't suing the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Ontario. They weren't involved in the suit. All right, so let's move now to the second one, because this is the one that directly involves Elon Musk and X. Sorry, I needed a drink. These solo episodes, I enjoy doing them. I love bringing you guys the news. But I don't get the breaks to hydrate like I do when I have a guest on. And they, when they're talking, I take a quick gulp of my drink. There needs to be the gulping silence on the episodes that are just me. Nice cup of choice, says Buddha Sandwich on Twitch. Thank you. I love my skull, goblet, mug, whatever you want to call it. Glass. It's not a goblet. That'd be lame if it was a goblet. Kind of nerdy. Anyway. I don't know. Now I want a goblet. Anyway. All right. So this might be difficult to recall because there's been a few similar scenarios that you might mix this up with. So this isn't the Media Matters report that came out late last year that found pro-Nazi content being posted next to X's advertisers' ads that resulted in some advertisers fleeing Elon Musk's social media platform. This is not that one. This is not that report. This is also not to be conflated with when Elon Musk himself was dabbling in the Great Replacement theory, anti-Semitic conspiracy theory. And that resulted in more advertisers leaving the platform. This is actually a different report. This is actually based on a different report on different instances of hate speech on X. But you might remember this. So way back in the summer of 2023, a nonprofit group that tracks hate speech on social media, the Center for Countering Digital Hate, released a few reports about hate speech on X. I believe the most recent one was late last year, before the Media Matter one that came out in November. This was like in late October of last year, that tracked the proliferation of anti-Semitism and Islamophobia on X in the weeks after the October 7th attacks and Israel's subsequent bombings in Gaza and ongoing bombings in Gaza. But the specific report that sort of kicked this all off that we're about to get into was earlier than that one. It was in the summer, and it was a report from the Center for Countering Digital Hate that looked into how verified accounts, so paying X premium subscribers, people paying $8 a month or more to get the little blue check and other bonuses, they were posting a lot of hate speech, and X was doing nothing about it. The report looked at a number of these accounts, reported them, and found that there was no action taken on the vast majority. Not even Musk's proclamation that some speech, even though it'll be allowed on X, will have visibility limited. Even that wasn't done for the vast majority of these accounts. So this report really bothered X and Musk. So much so to the point that Musk himself started going after the Center for Countering Digital Hate in posts about them. He said things like he was going to pull the mask off this organization, get behind who's funding them. And then X sent a legal letter to the Center for Countering Digital Hate, threatening legal action. And then Musk again took to X and said they should save their words for the jury. And then X actually went through and filed a lawsuit against the Center for Countering Digital Hate based on this report that they published. So again, another instance of Elon Musk and his free speech platform taking actions to limit the speech of others. He sued them over their findings in this report. Now, in the lawsuit, X tried to make a deal out of how the Center for Countering Digital Hate obtained the data for the report. To put it in like layman's terms, they basically accused the Center for Countering Digital Hate of having access to data, third-party data companies that X worked with that they shouldn't have had, and that they scraped the data for their report, which is against their terms of service. But the judge saw through the lawsuit, at least how the X's case was being made in the lawsuit, and basically saw through what they were trying to do and realized that, hey, the data part of this isn't really what they're mad at. When I look at the lawsuit, what they're mad at is what the Center for Countering Digital Hate is saying in their reports. Like, that's the real reason they're suing. And so earlier this week, on March 25th, a federal judge in San Francisco dismissed X's lawsuit again under anti-SLAPP laws, saying that they were trying to silence their critics. They were using this lawsuit in an attempt to silence their critics. Here, let me pull up some of these lines from the judge are amazing. Let me read some of these. This is U.S. District Judge Charles Breyer. In dismissing the lawsuit, said, sometimes it is unclear what is driving a litigation. And only by reading between the lines of a complaint can one attempt to surmise a plaintiff's true purpose. Other times, the complaint is so unabashedly and vociferously about one thing that there is no mistaking that purpose. This case represents that latter circumstance. This case is about punishing the defendants for their speech. I have some other lines here for you that are pretty amazing. Judge Breyer says, it is impossible to read the complaint and not conclude that X Corp is far more concerned about the Center for Countering Digital Hate's speech than it is its data collection methods. The court notes, too, that X Corp's motivation in bringing this case is evident. X Corp has brought this case in order to punish the Center for Countering Digital Hate for the Center for Countering Digital Hate's publications that criticized X Corp. And perhaps in order to dissuade others who might wish to engage in such criticism. And interestingly, Judge Breyer even adds this in. I thought this was this wasn't as biting, but I think it's a nice added touch. Judge Breyer noted in the lawsuit, in his dismissal of the lawsuit, that if X had made the case that the Center for Countering Digital Hate's reports were defamatory, maybe there would have been something there. But Judge Breyer made note to say that X itself carefully avoided saying that those reports were defamatory. I mean, I just... So, in that case, the vast majority were struck down under anti-SLAPP law, and one of X's claims was dismissed for failure to adequately allege a loss. One of the claims X was looking for was that the Center for Countering Digital Hate reports, purposefully targeted its advertisers, resulting in a loss for X. That's the claim that was dismissed for failure to adequately allege a loss. Pretty stunning. X announced, by the way, that they are planning to appeal the decision. We'll see how that goes. Free speech, baby. Who doesn't love free speech? Am I right? I mean, again, I think both of these show exactly what free speech means. It means they are allowed to say anything and everything. They can be racist. They can be sexist. They can be homophobic. They can be transphobic. They can be anti-Semitic. They can be Islamophobic. They can dish it out all they want. But if someone criticizes them using their free speech, then the consequences, the critiques, the having to be told you're wrong, that to them is not free speech. That to them is stifling their speech. They need to be able to talk and talk and talk. And we must all listen and say nothing in return. I mean, you know what to say. What do we? Maybe I could say. Maybe I would have something. Maybe I could think of something else to say about how ridiculous this was. If I wasn't so tired from starting the stream moments after getting back from my son's soccer team practice, of which I am one of the coaches for. I'm a little bit exhausted. My brain's a little bit fried. I think I did a good job, all things said. But maybe I would have just one more thing to say. But, you know, this is what these guys are all about. I can't get over the first one. I know the second one really should be, because that was their lawsuit. But the idea that you would announce that you are putting your money where your mouth is to defend free speech, and then not add the fact that the money is going towards helping someone who tried to shut down other people's free speech. Legally, I might add. Like, they went through the legal process to try to shut down other people's speech. It's, you know, what do you say? You either, like I said, if you are a COVID conspiracy theorist who somehow landed on this episode, you can disagree with me about that, the COVID stuff, and you can continue your COVID conspiracy theories. Just do it elsewhere. But come on. There's got to be some sort of logical nugget in that brain of yours that can see how someone criticizing your COVID conspiratorial or COVID skeptic beliefs is also free speech. I mean, maybe not, though. Probably not, though. But maybe not. Maybe one of you are out there. All right, folks. Let's go to the second half of the show. I will take your phone calls. I will read your super chats. I will read your Twitch subscriber chats. I will spar with any debaters who want to call in and take up the position that Elon Musk is defending free speech by suing his critics and funding people who are suing their critics. Oh, please. Please, if you take that position, please call into the show. God, I would be so happy. It's been a long time since anyone's called in for a spirited debate. I would love to discuss with someone who believes that is actually free speech. Nothing would make me happier right now in this moment than to do that. Oh my God, I'm getting giddy just thinking about it. Thinking about this fictional person with the balls to call in and argue that position. Please don't call in as devil's advocate. I do not want to argue with a devil's advocate. I want to debate with someone who really holds that position. My God, that would make me so happy. All right. Before we go to the second half of the show where we will hopefully do all that, I would like to implore you to become a paying subscriber to this show. By becoming a paying subscriber, you basically guarantee I am able to do this. Able to do my 2 live streams a week, my 2 podcasts, Doomed and Scam Economy. You help support me in some of the upcoming things I'm looking to do in hopes of launching soon. I would like to do more standalone YouTube videos on specific segments. I am planning to launch a regular newsletter that will feature original reporting very soon. And I can't do it without your monetary support. So go to patreon.com/MattBinder to support this show and help it grow. This call to monetarily support the show is strictly for people who can afford to do so. If you cannot, times are tough, I get it. So if you are, don't have some extra spending cash, there's other ways you could support this show that don't require your money. For example, you could subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's free. At youtube.com/MattBinder. Maybe you got a little bit of spending money. Don't want to subscribe to a monthly subscription, but you want to give a one-off. You could drop a super chat right now at youtube.com/MattBinder. I'll read your super chat in the second half of the show. Also, what is free is following me at twitch.tv/MattBinder. And if you are an Amazon Prime subscriber, connect your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, and you can give me a free, for you, paid to me subscription every single month. That's right. Amazon gives you a free paid Twitch subscription with your Amazon Prime subscription every month. So if you're already paying for Amazon Prime and you are not subscribing to your favorite Twitch creator every month, you're letting Jeff Bezos and Amazon keep more of your money that you can force them to distribute to your favorite creator. It's only a few bucks, but that's a few bucks less to Amazon. I mean, you can still get your next day Prime delivery while giving to your favorite creator without costing you a single dime more. I mean, if you're not using that, you're letting Amazon keep your money. It's just, you're letting them take advantage of you. Don't let Bezos take advantage of you. He's got enough money. And what else? Doomedcast.com for the podcast version of this show. Scameconomy.com for the podcast version of that show. Leave a review at Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. If you haven't already, reviews help people discover my shows. It's a great way to help support if you don't want to become a paying subscriber. What else? Oh, to call in just a moment. I'll be opening up Skype in just a moment. Search Doomed Live on Skype. I will take your calls. And, yeah. If you are a paying subscriber, or if you're watching live on YouTube or Twitch right now, don't go anywhere. I'm going to take a very short break to take a big gulp of my drink so I don't pass out or lose my voice. And I'll be back in just a second. Really more like a minute than a second. I'm not going to lie to you. But just a minute. Or two. Just a minute or two. If you are listening to the free podcast version of this show, this is where the show cuts out for you. This is where I say, I will see you all next time on Doomed. Today on Doomed.
Ecological collapse, corporate fascism, corporate journalism, police brutality, voter suppression, austerity economics, educate the masses, rampant homophobia,
We got our first caller.
What's up, Matt?
Hey,
You from Jamaica?
Dave from Jamaica. How are you doing, my friend? What are we going to talk about today? I don't think you are exactly what you claim you are. I would say you're conservative. What makes you a liberal?
I'm pro-Green New Deal.
Are you? Yes, really? Absolutely. No, I have watched the show. I've seen you completely come out and get really mad at Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for some of the things in the Green New Deal.
You mean like free college for black people?
All right, we are back on the show. The phone lines are open. Open up Skype. You don't even need to have Skype installed on your computer. You can just use the web browser version of Skype. I don't know why I had such a large pause between web and browser, but I did. All right, let's do this. Let's jump right in. Oh, here we go. We got the calls coming in. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Matt, it's Tony from Texas.
Hey, Tony, how are you? What would you like to talk about?
Well, I owe you a lecture.
Oh, you do? Here we go. Let's do this.
On food.
On food?
Because you're very good at having not great opinions about food.
Oh, I'm terrible. I love fast food. I love the absolute worst food for you. I eat whatever I like. I'm a meat eater. I'm not a vegan, not a vegetarian.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right.
I enjoy McDonald's and Burger King and Wendy's and Taco Bell.
You think deep dishes pizza and
Pizza Hut and Domino's and Papa John's. I love it all. It's all fantastic. I would not trade any of it away for anything.
I just wanted to address your position on raisins.
That one. Okay, that one. This is okay for people who don't know. My position on raisins is it's a fine snack.
Uh-huh.
if you pop open a box of raisins and, throw them in your mouth while you're at the computer, that's great. Delicious. What a lovely snack. But I want no raisins anywhere in foods that are part of my meal. Raisins in rice? Fried rice? Are you kidding me? Absolutely
Well, no,
not.
Fried rice, no. But like
Raisins in salad? No.
Yes.
Raisins,
A
raisins, raisins in your yogurt or your pudding? Absolutely not. Raisins are not meant to be mixed in with any other food ever.
Look, I absolutely your sound keeps cutting out for me, but I absolutely respect.
Oh, hold on. You're probably listening. Hold on. Skype probably is taking in the wrong output. Let me fix that. Thank you for letting me know.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second here. I should sound much better to you now.
So much better.
Perfect.
It's like the complete opposite of your opinion about raisins. But no, I absolutely look. I've gone on before about my extensive culinary background. I've been on the food scene for longer than some of your audience has been alive. But so I respect everyone's personal tastes to like.
Oh, listen.
Only-
If you enjoy
only-
if you enjoy dried up grapes in your food, please by all means continue to eat that filth and garbage. Just don't put it in my food and serve it to me.
Just do me a favor and don't order like a Waldorf salad then.
Okay, yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
ordering a
like-
Waldorf.
like-
What I'm talking
like-
about is like a salad that should not have raisins. Like I've seen
there's-
raisins in salads
Just
that are
raisins,
not.
dried fruit is a good mix in certain salads to add either like a little bit of sweetness to contrast to savory something, a little bit of softness to contrast to crunchy something. Obviously trail mix. It is like raisins and like dried fruit is a must in a proper trail mix. Whichever dried fruit you want to go with.
Well, trail mix is different. Trail mix is not like a meal. It's a snack. So it's basically
Well, it's a trail meal.
No, it's the equivalent of having raisins as a snack. It's not like you're cooking the raisins in the food. If I don't like raisins in my trail mix, I could easily eat around the raisins. I'm talking about like a cooked meal where the raisins can't really be removed.
Well, I agree with you that a fried rice is not a proper place for
There are
a
people
raisin.
who love
However,
raisins in fried rice, though.
well, I'm saying fried rice. A good wild rice, properly spiced, I'll get down on that with some raisins or some currants any day.
Listen,
yeah.
I like all sorts of different things. I love all sorts of spices and all sorts of condiments and flavorings. I love it all. Spicy, sweet, salty, whatever. But no raisins in my cooked meals.
And I do want to stress, I kind of appreciate it when people have, such different tastes for me, because it means that more oatmeal raisin cookies for me.
Here, look, you just gave a good one. I don't want raisins in my cookies, thank you. And number 2, my dad in the chat over here.
Oh, hey, Papa
YouTube,
B.
Raisins are good in turkey stuffing.
Oh,
That is a perfect example of what I do not want raisins in. I love stuffing. I love turkey stuffing. Don't you dare put raisins in. That is exactly the type of food I'm talking about that raisins will ruin.
Oh, here's one for your brain pan there, Papa B. Pineapple habanero stuffing.
You know what?
That's directed at your dad. You
I would have to try that out.
Take or leave that.
That doesn't sound like raisins to me.
No, but I just pineapple habanero is just it's such a great combo for all sorts of stuff.
Cy Abelman in the chat says oatmeal cookies without raisins are better. Exactly. Why ruin a perfectly good treat?
Disagree.
With
I mean,
raisins?
y'all are welcome to it, but disagree. But like the raisins are really what sells me on an oatmeal raisin. On just an oatmeal cookie. It's like it's like eating a granola bar that's just the granola and like whatever its binding agent is. Like I
love
gotta
granola
have
bars that are just granola.
I gotta have something in there to chunk it up. Like there's gotta
Chocolate
be.
chip, then get a chocolate chip granola bar. Those are better
I
than
mean,
raisins.
sure, if there's no
And I'm not
other
a chocolate guy. I'm not a
alternatives.
chocolate guy. Just to put it out there, I'm not like Mr. I cannot eat a lot of chocolate.
This chocolate chips are basic. It's just such a basic.
I mean, raisins are basic and bad.
Disagree, but you're less likely to have slave labor raisins than slave labor chocolate chips.
I mean, do you not remember the California raisins? Who knew? Who knows what put them up to that? I mean,
I said less likely. I didn't say not likely.
All right.
But yeah, anyways, lecture.
This was fun though. I appreciate phone calls, especially when I'm.
Every once in a while, I gotta come in and give you a hard time instead of just tooting your horn.
See, people in the chat seem to be misunderstanding what I don't like. People are dropping, apple. Where was this? I just saw someone say, apple cinnamon rolls. I see people saying, what is this? There was another one I saw. I can't find it now. All things though without raisins.
So
I didn't say anything about other foods. I'm strictly talking raisins.
I want to shout out Sophia real quick. Sophia, you're kind of right. Raisins sort of are basic white people food insofar as any given ingredient is basic white people food because white people generally don't know how to put it together with other stuff to make it interesting. Mayonnaise is such an excellent example. Mayonnaise by itself is blah. It's nothing. But it is a terrific base for making all sorts of sauces and dressings and toppings and stuff. It is a canvas, and white people aren't good at filling those in, generally speaking.
Right. I mean, for me, the mayonnaise is too spicy.
Get out.
I mean, I tried this dish the other day called a stick of celery, and I couldn't handle it. Too spicy for me. No, I'm actually a big spicy food eater. I'm a big curry person. Indian curry, Malaysian curry.
Well, see, currants with rice is an Indian dish, like
Japanese curry. Although Japanese curry usually not too spicy, comparative to Indian or Malaysian curry.
Anyway, I'll let some other callers get through. Everybody, don't forget www.patreon.com/mattbender. Please, y'all, we need to get these numbers up so I can take a break from my Patreon again for a little bit because
if you need to, please do. Don't. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. I will not hold it against you.
Yeah. I'm gonna cling on for a little bit longer. I'm hoping some things come through soon. But yeah, you have a great night, and I'll see everybody in the chat.
You too, Tony. Always a pleasure when you call in. Have a good night. All right, let's go back to the phones. Got some calls coming in. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, wait. We're having some connection issues via Skype. Uh-oh. Hopefully it's not my connection. No, it doesn't look like it's my connection. Call right back in. Uh-oh. I just hung up on everybody. My bad. All right, people are calling back in now. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, hey. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I see you're using video. Do you mind if I bring up the video feed?
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
go ahead.
Okay, cool.
Okay, cool.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, I'm Carrie, and I'm calling from Michigan.
Hey, Carrie, what did they talk about?
A few things. Well, first thing is, so I have headphones connected. Should I like
Oh,
not use those?
pause the YouTube and just listen to me via Skype because they're not going to be
Okay,
synced up. Yeah.
got that. Okay, cool, got it.
Great. All right, so go ahead.
Yeah, awesome. So first the Elon Musk thing, like, because I remember I've been watching you for a little bit. I remember listening to you and Mike Hayden talking about Twitter before
Right.
Elon Musk turned it into a, whatever it was. And how Michael said that he used to call it Blue Gab.
Right. Right. So,
So,
Twitter was never. Listen, all these social media platforms definitely have their problems. Twitter wasn't some like paradise where everyone held hands and did kumbaya, and then Elon Musk came along and ruined it. No, obviously he did not. The problems did not start with Elon Musk, but it is quite clear that since he's acquired the platform, there's been a lot more of these problems proliferating on the platform. Old Twitter did have policies against certain types of hate speech.
yeah.
The issue was that they didn't always take action on those policies. Now, of course, what good's a policy if you don't take action against it?
Right.
But they would at times, depending on how many people reported it, things like that. With Elon Musk's X, there's no policies that cover that at all. So this stuff is, I mean, you could just see by using it, there's been a huge uptick in this type of content, and more so than anything, to me, the biggest issue is the fact that Elon Musk himself has boosted these accounts. If you look at his profile, he's constantly liking, retweeting, quote tweeting, engaging with
Nice.
content. I don't know how else to describe, but just straight up racist.
Yeah.
Especially, he's like sharing like black on white crime statistics and talking about how immigrants are taking over the country. And I mean, this is just blatant xenophobia, and the accounts that are spreading it are being boosted by Musk. And then, of course, they gain more of a following too. I mean, that's I think the difference. It was never perfect, but it was never this bad.
Yeah. No, because I remember it being bad before he was around and such. But so I mean, it can't just have been that Tesla factories had to close that like drove him off the roof, right? Or
I mean, it does seem like I right. So I don't think these beliefs just festered in his mind in the spring of 2020 when his Tesla factories were forced to close because of the COVID pandemic. I mean, this is clearly someone who was open to these ideals. Like no one usually radicalizes that quickly. But it does seem like the pandemic was that tipping point that officially broke his brain and made him decide to just not even put on a facade anymore. Just jump right in and be the Elon Musk that engages in race science, in racially the DEI stuff he's posting about. Just today, I saw he was posting about skull sizes and IQs in people of certain races. I mean, I yeah. This is not someone who was
Yeah.
normal and then this all jumped into their brain a couple of years ago. This is a ongoing radicalization effort, it seems, and the
Let me say more people like using like eugenics like lingo, like physiognomy or whatever.
right.
I don't think that's a word that I only know in connection to that. Is it debunked science or whatever? But yeah, I think you're right because I remember reading about the founder of the Daily Stormer. Doesn't matter who he is, but like I remember this profile on him saying like, and before he was just your typical violent misogynist. Like,
Right. I
okay,
mean that. I mean no.
how
I mean
is that?
he wasn't. He was always. I mean I don't know when what the starting point is for. What they're claiming the starting point was for him. If they're saying it was COVID, obviously Daily Stormer was around well before that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think. Again, a lot of these guys, they're true believers. I mean, you know, Joe Schmo, who works a 12-hour day, and then comes home and sees, a couple of posts or YouTube videos, or someone shares a Rumble video with him on Facebook or something. That's a case of someone being radicalized into scapegoating people and being brainwashed. Maybe if they had a better understanding of the issues, maybe if they had other forms of media that they were consuming, maybe this is someone who wouldn't fall down this rabbit hole, who wouldn't have these beliefs. But that's not the owner of the Daily Stormer. That's not Elon Musk. These are guys who are either completely politically engaged and know exactly what they believe and why they believe it, or it's people who have all the time in the world and the money and resources to know better or do better, and they're choosing not to, or they don't want to because this is truly what they believe. I mean, there's a difference between someone who's being brainwashed and would possibly not have these views if they had a different media consumption, and then people who this is who they are. And when we talk about Elon Musk, it's becoming apparent to me that it should be becoming apparent to everyone really is that this is who he is. It's not like he's whoops, he just doesn't have time on his hands and he accidentally fell on the wrong video. Like, this is someone who is seeking out specific types of content because he wants it and because he believes it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's been worrying me because it's starting to affect my parents, and all of a sudden they're into RFK, even though he's been saying some things that I know at least 20 years ago they definitely would have agreed with. Can you hear me?
Oh, all of a sudden, I think your mic might have changed. You sound a little bit muffled.
Oh, shit. Muffled. Okay.
No, it's all right. Things like that happen. No big deal.
Hang on. I'm used to screaming. Give me 1 second. Hello?
Yep, I hear you. Go ahead. It's still a bit muffled. I think it's still a different mic, but you know what? I can make it out. Just just go ahead, and if it gets to be too much, I'll let you know.
Yeah. Okay, so I was talking about my parents in RFK, but one thing I wanted to ask you about is you mentioned COVID conspiracies.
Right.
And I have this dermatological condition called rosacea. So I've actually been prescribed ivermectin a few times, the same one that, the oral one, because I don't have a personal assistant and I can't
right, not the horse
get
one,
it.
right?
Not the horse one, no. So, when I first heard about that, I thought, what? Like, what is, what was this, how could this cure a respiratory virus
Right.
or something.
What, I'm sorry, what did you say you were prescribed it for?
Rosacea.
Oh, okay. What is that?
Yeah. It's it's a skin condition. Usually it looks like they look like broken blood vessels or
Okay.
something, but sometimes they look like you
Right.
know.
Obviously, sounds like very equivalent to a highly contagious, virus that spreads through air particles. But
Right.
oh, now hold on, I'm getting feedback now from your
You get
yeah.
feedback? Okay.
Yeah.
Hang on. Sorry, one second.
Your mic sounds better now, but now I'm hearing myself too.
Is that better?
Hold on, let me talk and see. Yeah, there we go. Your mic is back, and
Okay.
I am gone. There we go. So continue.
Thank you so much. But yeah, it's like a respiratory thing, like the kind that I get. They occasionally look like little bumps, but usually it just looks like a broken blood vessel, occasionally on your back, but mostly on your face and your trunk area.
Right.
So
I mean, it seems very, you say COVID-19, I say that skin condition.
Yeah.
Tomato.
Yeah. Right. And so I kept asking people, can you please explain to me how this is going to affect or cure like a respiratory virus? Like, like how does that?
I'm
This
guessing you
is
received
going after.
received a lot of good answers, I assume.
No. Yeah, it was. And you remember like Joe Rogan saying, "Oh, we threw the kitchen sink at it." I recognize a number of the medications that he mentioned, and one was this like asthma medication that my grandmother used to take. I mean, not that, everybody has asthma, but like, did he have asthma? Like, I wonder what the point of that was. Yeah.
Right.
This is my first time calling, but I have been
No,
watching
this
you
is
for
this
such
is
a long
great.
time. I think you're cool as hell.
I
And
appreciate that. Thank you so much. This was a great
yeah,
call. Feel free to call in any time.
thanks.
Have a great night.
You too. I'll definitely call back. Have a good one.
Bye. Cool. Oh, we got more calls coming in. Let's do this. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, Matthew. This is former Vice President Mike Pence calling.
Oh, Mike Pence. The number looked familiar, but I guess it was off by number. I was hoping this was I was hoping this is my favorite caller, RFK Jr. calling in to tell me about his big announcement. He's got a VP pick.
Well, I understand that RFK hasn't worked on a script for this evening.
How would you know that, Mr. Pence?
I would like to make a comment about something you covered earlier on this program.
Sure. Change the subject. I get it, but okay, go ahead.
Its raisins are very good in rice pudding.
Okay, thank you.
Mother put them in. She's feeling a bit naughty. She adds the raisins to the rice pudding, and we have a lot of that around the Pence house.
Oh my God, it's not too spicy for you?
It's right on the edge. So I'm sure you
appreciate that. Appreciate you calling in to let me know that Mike Pence, big fan of raisins and rice pudding.
Well, it seems to be a very important topic on Doom.
It is on this show, yeah. What about cinnamon? You put a little cinnamon on top of that rice pudding too?
Well, that's
pushing that too far.
A little bit too far. That's a little bit too far. Yeah. I guess you've heard that. I guess you've heard that I've decided to not endorse my former partner in running the country.
In crime?
In running the country.
All right. I did hear you're not gonna endorse Donald Trump. Say that for everyone in the back who didn't hear.
Yes,
say it again.
I've done a lot of soul searching. I've spent hours in prayer. I've spoken with Mother, and I've decided that Donald just isn't the right man for 2024.
Right. Do me a favor, actually. You know, it's been a number of years since you were, you know, you know, a common topic of discussion around households across America. You've been sort of out of the limelight for a while. Can you just remind people of who you are referring to when you say mother?
My wife, of course, the mother of my children.
Right. Yes. I mean, I too am a father. I do call their mother mom or mother when I'm talking to my children, but that's the only time I refer to her as mom or mother. Otherwise, I refer to
I,
her by her name, or you know, it's a bit
I,
weird to call your wife mother to everybody else.
I'm going to guess that that's the Ashkenazi Jew in you that decides not to call your wife mother because she is the mother of your children after all, and
Right? Yeah. Okay.
respect
All right.
that.
We could leave it at that. We could leave it at that. All right. We could leave it at that.
America,
So
yes.
so back to the back back to your decision not to endorse Trump.
Hmm.
That's a big one. That's a big one. I mean, he did blame you for losing the presidency because you would not help him overturn the 2020 presidential election. He did foment uh, a hatred towards you that resulted in a rather large crowd showing up at the Capitol building the day you were there to certify the election results that he lost, and that you know he sort of fomented that crowd into showing up with if I recall, a noose that was specifically for you. They wanted to.
And I'm sure you're misremembering. I mean, I saw the videotapes of people actually complimenting me, saying "hung Mike Pence," and I was very encouraged by that.
I
That
didn't. I wasn't sure you being a religious man knew that vernacular for that word.
it's very rare that I bring it up in mixed company. Certainly something I wouldn't speak to Mother about.
Okay. All
Uh,
right.
But I've decided who I am going to endorse for 2020.
Who?
Vivek Ramaswamy.
No, stop it.
Well, he's the fresh face that the Republican Party needs. I mean, his bold new ideas, like about reducing our burdensome, crippling national debt, uh, just a really unique man with.
I mean, sir, you know that he I'm not sure if you realize this. You know that he dropped out of the race, right?
Um, can I still endorse him?
I mean, he's not running. He's not even asking people to vote for him.
Can
He's not.
a no write-in campaign
I
would
mean, no. I mean, you could write him in, but he's not asking people to do that. In fact, he has endorsed your former partner,
Mhm.
Donald Trump. He appeared on stage with him and everything. Gave him a big old smooch, if I recall, or a big hug. I don't remember which. Gave him showed him a lot of love. Let's put it that way.
Mm. I mean, just thinking of some of Vivek's policies, the one that really stood out to me would be his idea to raise the retirement age to 85. I mean, that would certainly reduce our national debt and create a situation where workers could flourish in America
Mm,
and really
yeah.
really contribute to our nation in a really significant way.
No, I mean, if that's how you want to look at that. Um, but what about none of the other candidates who are running? They didn't float your boat.
Well, I listened to Marianne Williamson for about 5 minutes, but
Did you really?
for about 5 minutes, and realized that she wasn't a serious spiritual person. as a Christian, a conservative, and a Christian in that order, she's not exactly what America needs at this time. I think we need a higher morality, modern American
What
values.
about Nikki Haley?
Mm, she's a woman, so there's a
Oh,
problem.
that's what you meant when you were
Uh,
talking about Marianne
well,
Williamson. Oh, got it.
yeah, you're able to read me, Matt. I'm very impressed.
I
Uh,
was man.
speaking
Let,
of, yes,
let me ask you this.
yeah,
You said you would not endorse Donald Trump for president.
correct.
Can you tell us who you are planning to personally vote for?
Well, Matt, you know all that our elections are secret and private and sacred in that. Uh,
Just let us in on this. Let us who you planning on voting for.
I certainly couldn't vote for a Democrat.
Right.
That's the problem right there. So
Okay, so
uh,
who?
you can make your own judgment. I think.
Nah, just who are you gonna vote for?
Um. Uh, I guess Trump. I'm not sure. I mean, if presented with the worst of two evils, you always choose the evil. So I think we'll be going with. Mother and I have
Oh,
discussed this. We'll be voting, not
I
endorsing. but
did
we'll-
you did not endorsing but voting for him. I got that. Yeah,
correct.
interesting.
Correct.
Interesting. Did Mother have a say in who she's voting for, or?
No, I tell her I'm the head of the household and God is the head of me, and so that's how that works. It's just like the Bible. And speaking of the Bible,
Quick question. Hold that thought. You just called yourself head of the household. Interesting. When you do your taxes, do you file as a married couple or head of household?
well, no, of course we file as a married couple to receive the massive tax deductions that we do.
Okay.
File
All right. Wasn't sure if you wanted to let the government know that this was a team effort.
I'm no fool, man. I'm no.
What were you going to say about the Bible before I
well,
cut you off? I apologize.
I've seen former President Trump has come out with a Bible.
He has. Even I didn't see that. Where he
Oh,
came out
you
with a
have?
Bible.
Um,
I've been off the
yeah.
Trump beat, I guess.
He's come out with the
Oh my God, the God Bless the USA Bible. A $60 Bible called God Bless the USA Bible.
look at the details there, Matt. It doesn't include just the Bible.
All right. What else does it include?
Oh, it doesn't say on the dumb web page.
Oh, wait, it includes the Constitution. I see this. Okay. So it's a package deal. You get the Constitution and the Bible
That's correct.
for $60.
$60.
You think that's a good deal?
I've actually decided to come out with a much more modern Bible
Really?
myself. Yes, yeah. We're cleaning up the Bible for modern Puritan audiences here in America. We made some editorial changes that don't really change the overall power of God's word, but
Interesting. Can you give me an example?
Adam and Eve were created fully clothed.
Really?
And no
So
nudity.
wait, so where does original sin come from then?
Well, when they went into the bushes and did the little.
But they were fully clothed. So what were they doing?
Well-
they were dry. Was dry humping the original sin in the Mike Pence
I
Bible?
I didn't say they were always fully clothed. They were created.
Oh, okay. So you just a little editorial. What am I looking for? A little creative.
We're
changes.
clean. We're making it more moral. I mean, you've probably seen the libraries and the horrible America-hating people who are trying to have Bibles removed from libraries because of
I
the
don't think
violence, the rampant sex,
Oh,
incest.
I have seen that, but it's mainly people trying to make a point when those same laws are used to remove other classic novels and historical texts.
That's correct, Matt. But I'm going to make a point with my own
Oh,
Bible.
okay. So what is it?
Well, also, did you want to know some of the other things we've cleaned up? Cain only punched Abel in the arm, so
Oh,
there's no murder in the Garden of Eden. None of the animals on the ark had sex because that's naughty.
but how did they?
We
Wait, but so what was the point of Moses saving them then?
Well, after they got off the ark, they were free to do whatever they wanted to. But
I
you
mean,
certainly you
well, hold on.
certainly don't
Was there
animal.
like I don't recall reading about the animal sex parties on the ark in the Old Testament? Did I miss something there?
You obviously haven't read your Bible, Matt. I mean, it's something that many people in America fail to do when they speak
All
about the
right,
Bible.
all right.
And we've removed all the incest, the genocides, the murders that were ordered by God.
Oh,
Uh,
is that? But
it's
you.
just a few little things here and there.
All
Um,
right.
Also, Christ is fully clothed when he's on the cross. It's as depicted. It's very.
I have a
It's very.
question. When you say fully clothed, are they still in garb
Yes,
that's
robe.
correct? That's correct for the time, or are they wearing like full blown like, button up, Ralph Lauren and
Matthew,
khaki pants and.
Matthew. Oh, Matthew, you're trying to make fun of me, and I doubt your spirituality. I really do. I mean,
I
of course he's in
you
a
don't have to
robe.
doubt. You don't have to doubt.
We've removed the references to alcohol and wine in the Bible. For example, now Jesus says, "This is my blood. It's cherry Kool-Aid. Do this in remembrance of me."
This is for Easter. Just.
It's part of
Sir,
Holy.
sir, Holy Thursday is tomorrow, my friend. What are you doing? It's a major part of the day.
Strike when the iron is hot. Isn't that what they say, Matt? So,
This is my blood. What is it again? Give it to me again. It's a great line, if I do say so.
and he saith unto them, "This is my blood. It's cherry Kool-Aid. Do this in remembrance of me."
So wait, hold on. How do you square this then? If you have a problem with the wine in the Bible, how do you square this with when you go to church on Sunday and the priest turns the Eucharist and you're drinking the wine?
Well, the church I go to serves cherry Kool-Aid, and I think most of the churches in America should do this. I mean, there's no reason to be serving wine to people who don't want to drink it, or
Well,
you've
that's
seen the
that is
horrible.
that is a point I'm fine with. I mean, certainly if people don't want wine, they should have other options. But I think changing the actual text of the Bible to reflect that is a bit weird.
Again, we need to clean it up so that the haters and the non-God-fearing Christians won't be protesting at libraries, sarcastically rather, trying to get the Bible removed from shelves when it's up there right next to genderqueer books like This Boy is Blue or something like that. I haven't read any of these. But anyway, the Antebellum American Bible is what we're calling it. You can get it from MikePenceBible.com, and I've decided to undercut the competition. It's only $40.
No, I mean, sir, I just want to say, like, when you say undercut the competition, you just mean Donald Trump's Bible, correct? Because I was using this while we were talking. I used that opportunity to look up how much you could buy a Bible for, and you can get them for like $7 on Amazon.
Well, this one comes with a beautiful photo of Mother and myself, and we both autographed it. I think
Oh,
the American people will remember me fondly as their vice president and will take us up on this amazing offer. I mean, a Bible should be in every home. There should be at least one, probably 6 or 7, and especially one in the toilet.
in
I mean,
in
near,
in in the toilet, or you mean in the bathroom?
excuse me, near in the bathroom, ready for reading
About to
and
say,
understand.
I don't know what you do in your house that you need a Bible in the toilet bowl, but
I didn't say that, Matthew. You're taking me out of context.
all
Another
right.
trying to be fake media around me. I said, yeah, I meant near the toilet.
You might have meant near the toilet, but you certainly said in the toilet, my friend.
Quit jumping on my audio. I think
Okay.
that's a problem here. But the
Okay.
antebellum American Bible available now at MikePence.com, MikePenceBible.com. I'm sorry.
All right, folks. You heard it here first. Mike Pence getting into the Bible selling business.
I think it's only logical, and the American people are thirsting for a dose of morality and care and loving, and the Bible offers all of that. And with this new version, it'll be even better.
Quick question:
So
if America was thirsting for that, why didn't your presidential campaign take off?
I think the timing was wrong.
Okay, big difference in just the course of a month.
Well, the fact that former President Trump was eating up all the oxygen made it difficult to make any splash anywhere, as a matter of fact. And I'm sure you saw many of my rallies were attended by literally dozens of people. And as much as excitement as that generated, I don't think we had enough going for this round. So,
Right,
but
right.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I saw there were certainly, as The Rock says. Well, not really. He has, but to say it in the way that he would say it, you certainly had the dozens and dozens of Mike Pence's fans showing up, I guess, at the your rallies. So congrats for that.
I, I, I've never heard of a rock speak, but
You never heard of Dwayne the Rock Johnson before. Okay.
the rock.
The Rock, yes.
Is that like the rock and roll that I hear so much about today?
Oh my God. Mike Pence, everybody.
Thank you for your time, Matt. You have a wonderful evening. Bless.
Take care. Always a pleasure when you call in. All right. That was a lot of fun. Who knew Mike Pence could be so much fun? Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yo, what's going on, man?
Hey, can I put you up on the feed?
You go ahead, man.
It's Hansi. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I thought I was banned from the show.
I can't believe, I gotta let everybody, if you don't mind, I gotta let everyone know this story.
Go ahead.
So, Hansi sends me a message the other day, and he goes something like, "Hey man, if you don't want me to call into the show anymore, I won't. Just let me know." And I'm like, and I see this message, and I'm like, what? And then he follows it up before I can even answer him. He's like, I just get the feeling you don't want me to call it anymore. And I'm like, what is this guy talking about? And so I looked at Skype, and I guess like the past 2 weeks, he was one of the callers that I just couldn't get to. But I guess he thought I was like, I purposely didn't get to him because I was holding a grudge against him. Hansi, why do you think this about yourself?
Hey, you gotta understand, the last call that I had, you listen, normally when I go into most people brush away any conspiratorial thought, right? And you were actually like, engaging with the Howard Stern and the whole and just some of my theories. And again, these are just my theories about how some of the stuff plays out, whatever. So I thought maybe because I did advertise. Normally I don't advertise when I call into your show, but I thought I did a good job with the call that I posted it on TikTok. I posted it on my Facebook.
That's
Instagram,
good. I love that. That's great. You were
right?
promoting the show. How am I going to get angry at that?
I thought because now people are noticing that because other people were trying, there's some people that were trying to contact me to like, oh, you want to do an interview on this show, and it
That's
was like,
good.
but no, no, but the thing is, I thought maybe somebody, the higher ups, like maybe Howard Stern type, or maybe WWE people got to you.
Reached out to me? Are you kidding? I think you think I'm way more important than I am. I am.
I mean, you wait,
I am
you are part of
nobody.
the leftist. You are part of the leftist mafia, though, man.
All right, we might have called someone might have called the hit, right? Yes.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
All
So
right.
I go, oh shit. So I honestly,
Let
I
me
was
let me tell you something. If let me put this out there. If Howard Stern was to contact me, you would hear about it because I would not be. I would be like, you guys will never believe who I just got off the phone with.
I mean, Howard's too big to do it himself. He'd get his goons to come in and talk to you about it,
How do
whatever.
I? Now you're putting this out there. How do I know that all this time you aren't calling into this show doing Howard's bidding as one of his goons? You could have been pulling the wool over our eyes this whole time. This could all be a plot to get as much information about me and this show to Howard Stern.
Listen, man. With the club, I'm just glad I wasn't kicked off the show, man. I was like,
You're
shit.
probably glad because otherwise Howard Stern would be very angry that you couldn't do your job and get insider information to him because you couldn't call into the show anymore.
I'm on an inside. Everything I do is monitored, man. What's it called? The government probably going at Howard Stern about Palestine, Israel, probably got me put on a bunch of watch lists. You know what I mean? Like people like literally hacking.
Has he talked about it lately? Do we know what his position is?
Well, I mean, he's gonna listen. Like that's why when I initially left, there was like a conservative type of audience that was willing to like vindicate me. They wanted me to kind of attack Howard Stern from the whole, oh, he's peace, because there's things that Howard says that are left leaning that I agree with, but what they're called, people only go it from the angle that when he became more liberal is when he started selling out. When I could argue that his whole entire run was the beginning of this alt-right kind of movement. You don't listen to any of his shows in the late mid '90s and tell me it's not resemblance of what a lot of these alt-right shows are now, basically. So my whole point is that he's always been compromised.
I don't know. I don't think he was exactly that. I know what you're saying.
Did you not hear any of his O.J. Simpson coverage or like all the amount of dude? He had a lot of. Dude,
I don't remember that honestly. I was fairly young.
Like you know how all these how a lot of these controversial figures online become part of the scumbag media where they end up going on Joe Rogan. A lot of those type of people used to go on Howard Stern's show, like what's the guy's name? The guy who got his dick cut off. John Wayne Bobbitt, or
right. I remember that.
Or Joey Buttafuoco,
like, right? Yes.
So like I'm saying, like those type of like those people, like those like if Howard was in the '90s, I'm sure he would have had Kyle Rittenhouse on his show. You know what I mean? Like I'm just saying he used to do that, and then people think that the sellout moment came out when he started going more liberal. And I used to go, wow, that's awesome, because as someone was getting into his show as he was becoming liberal after he became, initially when 9/11 happened, man, he was and again, I know people are going to give him a pass because
I'm not giving him a pass, but it was also, he wasn't alone either. That was actually the mainstream view what he probably had, sadly.
No, but okay. So what I'm saying is, so I guess when Bush started coming down on the censorship stuff, that's when he rebranded as being anti-Bush. So I always assumed, okay, and then he did show remorse for how he acted on it, whatever. But then whenever Palestine Israel would come up, dude, I'll send you one of my viral. It went viral in 2014 when I called into a show to go. I want to ask John Oliver a question because you're gonna probably change your tune when he comes in because John Oliver in 2014 was talking about what Israel's doing in Palestine. And then Howard Stern started saying Israel's at no fault, basically. And I said, no, Zionists run Israel. And we got into it. We got into it. He even got, like another time he got another dude to go at me, and it triggered me. In like they were saying so much ignorant stuff that it made me start saying edgelord stuff to them, and I kind of regretted it, whatever. But they were triggering me in that regard. So after I did that, it went viral in 2014, and then what happened was, then slowly but surely they were exiting me out of the show, and then the official nail in the coffin was when people told me to mention this, like, because apparently I didn't pay attention to it because I was want to concentrate on my own thing, right? But what ended up happening was he's a part of a cult now, getting things done, and he hired this woman named Marcy Turk to be his his handler basically, and she was making all these changes. I always still thought that he just using her to put the changes he wants in. So nobody could mention her. And then I randomly mentioned her on the air, and he, cut me off. And it was one of the first time that it was an audible, censorship that he did. And I was on Periscope at the same time. So it became like this big fucking deal. I think the other comment that made me exiled basically was when I was going at him. I go, you kind of become what you like. You know that saying, you live long enough to become what you hate. Basically, I said you live long enough to become Don Imus, and that one fucking triggered him because that's his enemy, whatever, right? And but he's basically become Don Imus, though, right? You know what I mean? But no, but like so that's why so I know Howard Stern is very 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 pro Israel. I personally don't believe, in my opinion, that he's liberal. I personally think he's actually, I think he's actually Trump's. I think he's the guy that's the mastermind behind Trump. Actually,
No.
I do. I swear to God, I do, man.
No, I
really
think now you're getting now you're losing me.
See, so okay, do you want to? Okay, listen. Well, by the time we find out when fascism kicks in, basically, I swear to you, I promise. I think he helped normalize Trump more than anybody, bro.
I'm sure. Again, I don't recall his history with Trump, but you can certainly make that argument. But that doesn't mean that he's like secretly the guy behind Trump.
Okay, but this one has been deleted off the internet for some reason because I started I started getting like a little bit investigative about it, right? But one of my calls where I was like, you control a lot of shit. Like I go, you are like a manipulator behind the scenes in show business, and I kept saying like you control like WWE type of shit, right? And then he said something where he said something where he goes, why would I want to control the entertainment? Why wouldn't I want to control the president? And back then I thought, okay, because people are saying that he's an Obama shill, maybe he's like an Obama guy. But now that that's been cleared off the internet, you can't find that anywhere. What's it called? I'm starting to think that maybe because one of Trump's final interviews on Howard Stern was in 2015, and what's it called? Trump was saying shit like, me and Howard have been talking. He goes, this guy is really, 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 really smart. That's why when this whole thing started, I was like, is this Trump? Because I didn't know where Trump was going. Because like he was saying some truth bombs when he first started, whatever. But he was also doing the ignorant shit too. So I was like, okay, if Howard Stern.
I mean, he started with the rapists coming from Mexico. So I mean, it was very clear where this was going.
He started calling out 9/11, and he started calling out what they call the Epstein's Island. You know what I mean?
I don't remember him. I don't remember him doing that. I remember one early thing he did that was pretty good was during the debates. He basically trashed George W. Bush and the Iraq War in an effort to go after Jib. But I mean, that was it. That was like the one time I was like, oh, wow, broken clock.
No, see, but so the one thing that did hold me back from thinking that Donald Trump is shit was a lot of the edgelord comedians from Opie and Anthony's fucking thing were hyping him up, and I'm like, anyone that they hype up has to be a bad faith actor. So, like in the beginning, by the time the election rolled around, I go, shit. What they called Trump is like, even though Hillary's bad, they're making it seem like, oh, Hillary is bad. That automatically means that Trump is good. And to me, I look at it like it's I look at it like, because again, we're talking about free speech and all that, and I'll tie it back to that. It's like at this point, man, it's pointless debating all of it because it's like they already gaslight you. They already deny like what they're doing is wrong, whatever. And basically, you gotta waste your time pointing out the hypocrisies. And I don't think they give a shit about the hypocrisies whatsoever, bro. This
Oh,
is
of
why.
course. No, they don't care. I mean, it's I point them out at least because it's funny. But I
No,
know
no,
it's not like affecting. Like they don't care about that. They're all about it. Doesn't affect them one iota.
but don't you think that like we need to go advance like in 2010s pointing out the hypocrisy was like was dope, whatever.
Oh, it was
Like
a dope. No, no, don't. If that's what you're saying, don't get me wrong. You're certainly right. That was like a major, like thing that people thought was important to point out because they thought it was gonna like change, the trajectory of whatever it was that they were pointing out. Like whether it was a politician saying something or someone flip flopping on something. I mean,
well,
but the truth of the matter is, it doesn't matter anymore. Really, for the most part, people don't care about that.
So the whole thing with that with the Howard Stern thing is that his fan base, bro, they try to radicalize me by saying all this ignorant shit like I'm a terrorist, I'm gonna kill him, I'm gonna kill my own parents. Like they're trying to amplify that for so long and all that in my head. And part of me is like, if I was lesser of a mind state and not strong enough, I probably would have given in to like some of these extreme behaviors because they're trying to push me in that regard. And that's why I look at it now with the Palestine Israel stuff. And it's like the pro Israel side, it's not enough that they're doing what they're fucking doing. But what makes it even now worse is that they're farming for engagement and making money off the hypocrisy. And it's like they're trying to get people to be so disillusioned because as a Muslim, there's never been a true advocate for Muslims on like at a peer level with Palestine and Israel. You know what I mean? That's why I started going online because there was more of a nuanced conversation happening. And then I started realizing a lot of these people online who are acting like pro-Israel, pro-Palestine, were also like pro-Christian fundamentalists and all that. And I feel like now so many people are so disillusioned by like the gaslighting by the pro-Israel side that now you're like, well, Alex Jones is being anti-Israel. I'll take it, man. I'll take Candace Owens. It's like, dude, it's a fucking. They're both on the same side of a different fucking coin. Like the Christian fundamentalists are working with the pro-Israel type, and like when you have people previewing, like Jared Kushner saying, "Oh, we're gonna turn Palestine into a waterfront." Like obviously that's offensive, and we should get mad about it. But what they're doing, they're telling you what their fucking plans are. Like you know what I mean? That's why they're gonna call for a ceasefire and shit. But the thing is, like, if I know their fundamentalist goals of what's gonna fucking end up happening, and then it just feels like that Christian prophecy is supposed to be coming true. The end times Christian prophecy of what's going to happen in Israel. It's like they want that to fucking happen, and I feel like the crowning moment is supposed to be for Trump to be crowned at the Golden fucking Temple. You know what I mean? Like that's what they fucking. I don't want it to happen. By the way, I'm just saying I know where the fundamentalism is going, and it's scary to me. You know what I mean? Like I have no hope, and I feel like people I know even like I got into an argument with my Riley pointed out that Rick Rubin is one of these guys in show business that's kind of behind why some of these rappers now are getting into the QAnon stuff. And I posted
Wait, is
that.
he? Right? I didn't hear this. What?
That's what Boots Riley posted, and people. So I posted that on Instagram, and one of my supposed friends who's been going down like he's going down like the anti-Israel. Like I don't mind calling out Israel government, IDF, and all that. But it seems like he's going down the more anti-Semitic fucking cause, whatever. So he starts going at me and going, "Oh, Rick Rubin, I wonder what tribe he's from." And I'm like, "Listen, what the call? I know there's powerful Jewish people and all that kind of shit, but believing Candace Owens and Andrew Tate, where is that in Islam? Where I gotta fucking believe a rapist is the genuine with his fucking thoughts about fucking Palestine, and it's not a fucking grift." So he started getting at it with me because I didn't fucking want to believe Andrew Tate. It says more about this fucking person that he's coming to me defending Andrew Tate and Candace Owens of all people for his pro-Palestinian cause. If that makes sense.
I'm sorry. I'm still trying to. I'm looking up this Rick Rubin thing.
Oh, did you find it?
Apparently,
If you search Twitter,
apparently, yeah, it seems like that's what Boots Riley tweeted.
Yeah, it doesn't show. I mean, but you notice that a lot of rappers are going more the QAnon way. Ice Cube is Ice Cube is like claiming he doesn't align with Elon Musk, but it's like your big three league was helped funded by Steve Bannon, so like you clearly have chosen a fucking side.
I'm like you've thrown me off here. I'm sorry.
Sorry, man.
Oh, I have to look more into this. Interesting. See, Hansi, well, if I didn't take this call, then I would not know this, and then I wouldn't go down my own rabbit hole looking further into it.
By the way, have you been keeping up with Anna Kasparian's more? Dude, did you see that one clip where she's talking about how the left for bail reform, leftists want are making excuses for dismembered bodies, and then she's just going, "What are we doing, Jake? What are we doing? What are we doing?"
I've not seen this. I love your impression of her though. Someone's got to send it to me.
You want me to send you right now?
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably not gonna watch it on the feed right now, but definitely send it to me. DM it to me.
You know what it is? I sometimes when I post these videos, I tag the surfs, I tag Ole. I know you don't go on Twitter as much, so I don't tag you, but I should have tagged you in it last week. But she was like all the right wingers. Like if you look up Anna Kasparian on Twitter, this is like the main clip that's circulating right now by all the right wingers. Like going, "Oh, this leftist has had enough of all the left," and then she goes, come at me and tell me I'm a bad guy for wanting people who dismember bodies in jail. It's like, who's saying that they don't want that people in jail? But it's having to do with bail reform from what Ole was saying. You know what I mean? Because she did a video, and then because somebody countered it, she told people to come at her from the left. But then when people countered it, she basically put a bat signal to all her right-wing followers. Oh, these people are defending dismemberment bodies and all that kind of shit, bro. She's losing her fucking mind. Even Jank has to take a pause because of how extreme she is. Do you think she's gonna replace Candace Owens at Daily Wire?
No.
No. You don't think that?
No. Listen. I don't know what's going on with this is clearly the route she's taking, but I don't think she's gonna go work at the Daily Wire. I'm not.
I know, bro. She does appearances on podcasts, and she goes, "Oh, I like Ben Shapiro because Ben Shapiro and I can disagree and get along." But it's like, just because someone's nice to you doesn't mean that they're fucking like. She will give the bare minimum. Like Joe Rogan has helped normalize a lot of white supremacist talking points about Muslims all through like the last 10 years if I listen to his podcast. And he says one good thing about Palestine and Israel, and everyone just, I just feel like people who say they're on the left, like that happen to be pro, like for example, nobody on the supposed left is, online at least, is saying anything about Putin putting LGBTQ activists on a fucking on a terror watch list. Like, and again, if that was happening in the U.S., that should be called out. By some reason, like in order to be considered a leftist online with some people, you have to like for some reason like completely not call out the Chinese government or call out Russia. And I understand the framing because there's neocons who want regime change in China. I understand that. That's why I don't like talking to Westerners about other country shit because they will just do it from a angle of, oh, the whole US of A would never do any of this. It's like all these fundamentalists, in my personal opinion, are all aligned together. Like it's I think we make a mistake by doing the country versus country aesthetic. I think that's a dated concept when all these fundamentalists far right elements of each country are basically aligning together in my personal opinion. I know that's a conspiratorial thought, but that's just like okay, like you know how right now I believe that the right wing is implementing doing violent fucking shit, right? People with the Baltimore Bridge that fell down, right? That collapsed, whatever. They're obviously the right wing is doing, oh, DEI is what's caused this and all that. They're going to use it for that. But then if I'm going to get conspiratorial, so that guy Clay Higgins, he put out a tweet a year ago telling right MAGA followers, know your bridges. And since then, there have been a lot of fucking incidents happening at these bridges. So can I get conspiratorial now and say the MAGA fucking elites are trying to break down bridges and tear shit down?
Wait,
Basically,
who posted this?
Clay Higgins, know your bridges.
Clay Higgins posted "Know Your Bridges." What does that even mean?
When he was doing it when Trump was going to be taken into Miami's federal court, and he was basically warning the MAGA people just be on the lookout. And he goes, "Know your bridges," and he put a military code. Of that, whatever, right? And I know he may have specified because of this Trump situation that was happening, but I kept it in my mind saying, since there's going to be a lot of fucking MAGA fucking violence going on and shit, I said, if there's situations that are happening on these bridges and roads over the next year, I'm going to believe that what they're called, it's their fucking ilk that's orchestrating a lot of destruction going on, which is probably why they didn't want to sign the infrastructure shit. And then they're going to blame it on Biden. Again, you can blame a lot of shit on Biden or whatever, but they know that these things are going to be tearing down. It's like they need that stuff to happen, bro. It's like they're organizing this fucking chaos, in my personal opinion, man. I don't know. I know it's conspiratorial, but if the right wing can be conspiratorial and take people into more of a fucking fundamentalist mindset, I can fucking be conspiratorial and say that the fucking MAGA people are the ones controlling shit. They're the ones that are organizing and, they're wanting a civil war, basically, man. I don't even think.
I can't believe you remembered that Clay Higgins thing. You'd be a helpful person to have on like a research, like if I had like like the Daily Show or John Oliver and I needed a research team, you'd be a helpful person to have on there for that memory of yours. My God. Know your bridges? I just looked it up. It was on a random tweet like 6 or 7 months ago. 3 words. You remembered it.
Because the work when it happened, there were a lot of people online that were saying, why is this guy? Because I forget what. No, he's a government official or he's in an important position. So people were questioning, why is this guy saying that? And of course, people were going to be like, oh my God, they're going to do something for Trump at this very moment. But I said this is probably a code they're putting out. It feels like they're putting out breadcrumbs and then after the fact, when whatever happens, you'll be able to fucking figure it out about all these things that they've been putting out there, bro. Dude, I'm really scared for this year, man. I really don't even think your country is
Wow.
gonna have an election, man.
Oh boy, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if I agree with you there, but yeah, we could see some bad stuff. Absolutely, no doubt about that. Um,
Are you
but
going to Mania, by the way?
man, you know, this is it. This is the end of democracy is this year. The election's gonna be all out. There's gonna be riots in the streets. By the way, man, you going to WrestleMania in a few weeks?
I don't know. Sorry, man.
No, I just thought it was funny. That's good. I'm not going to Mania. I can't afford to go to Mania. I would love to go to WrestleMania, but it's too much money, and it's not in New York. So that means you need to put money into a hotel and travel and all that. So, I mean, it's not that far. It's in Philadelphia, but just not
Are
in the
you
cards.
are you liking the build of the Are you liking the build of Mania?
It's been pretty good. I've been pleasantly surprised. You know,
Yeah, no,
they
here's the thing. I like the substance of what The Rock is doing. I don't really like the reboot of like Hollywood Rock. I feel like the material's kind of fucking weak. But like
I still don't think they've adequately explained the whole scenario where Cody said The Rock can face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, and then all of a sudden Cody didn't want that anymore.
no. I mean, Cody did explain it in a promo. But the thing is, I think we're supposed to also assume because Triple H was like confronted by The Rock after that moment. I think we're supposed to assume that Triple H got in Cody's ear and he was the one that told him to interrupt whatever. Okay, I think like it's gonna be since triple the Rock is gonna be there more often because he's on TKO and all that. I feel like after Mania, there's gonna be more shit going up. But again, when they go to Netflix, man, it's gonna be like Attitude Era all over again, basically.
I'll probably be able to watch more actually when they go onto Netflix because I don't have cable. So it's rough to follow it. I got to watch through clips and reading what's going on.
Can't you
So
just watch it on one of those sites?
yeah, but that takes too much effort.
I get it, man.
All right, Hansi, great call.
Yeah, that's cool. Before I go, I just want to say I'm glad I'm not banned, and I'm glad you had me on. I'm sorry. I think I did a good job with the call this time, whatever, than the last time, whatever. I was all over the place, but I just want to say I'm glad I'm not fucking banned, man. I enjoy your
No,
community.
you're
So
not banned, Hansi. You're not banned.
I appreciate.
And you don't have to say it was because you weren't all over the place, because you did just give us that great moment of yeah. That's this year we're gonna see the end of democracy. By the way, you going to Mania?
Yo. By the way, Matt, I'm gonna remind you every time that I'm on here. You gotta start watching Sopranos, man. I need to talk to you about that, man.
I
Please.
know.
All right, man. Peace out, man.
Take care. Take care. All right, folks. We'll take one or two more calls. Let's do this. Call in now. I got a bunch of people trying to call in. Someone tried to schedule a call. How does that work? I didn't know you could do that. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people trying to call in right now at this moment. Maybe there's more, maybe not, but I see at least 5 people. I will take the call as they come in. I'm counting the people who just tried to call in at the end of that Hansi call. Let me read a super chat or two while we wait for to see who gets in first right now. Tokyo Hans gifted 5 memberships in the YouTube chat. Thank you so much, Tokyo Hans. Hose B, that's a great name. With a $5 super chat. Shout out for telling hippie me. Hipping me. Shout out for telling. I don't know what that. Maybe I'm off, but shout out for telling me about Apes of the State. Much love, a great band. Yes. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey Matt, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Dan Dietz. We talked a while back. I'm just gonna turn on the camera real quickly. Regarding migration,
Oh yeah,
remember
let me
that?
let me pull you up on the feed if you don't mind. Could I pull you up on the feed?
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool. Yeah, let's your name's Dan, right? You said?
Yeah, well, I use that name. It's not Dan. I have two. I have three actual names in
That's
my
fine. You want
ID.
me
My real name is Diego. That's the name my parents gave me. But I also go by the name of Ditso, which means seed in the language of my people.
Okay.
And
Whatever you want me to call you, I'll be happy to do it.
yeah, you can call me Dan or Ditso or Raven, whichever other thing.
Wow, you just gave me 3 options.
Yeah.
All right, let's go with Diego. I'm
Yeah,
joking. Let's
that's
go with
fine.
Dan. Yeah, sure. Dan, what would you talk about?
Well, I've been listening to your show, etc. I saw the point of does Elon Musk know what free speech is, and a simple straight answer is no. Look at what he's doing against unions in Sweden. So
Oh,
fundamentally,
right. Go ahead.
he you know, I brought this up on the Twitter. I normally don't use Twitter a lot, but the day he came out saying he's a fighter for freedom of speech, etc., and it was around that time frame of November, December last year. I came out with a little thing saying, "You're not for free speech. Look what you're doing in Sweden against the unions. If you're against the basic fundamental right of workers to organize in unions, you know shit about freedom of speech." And he blocked me.
Right. Right.
So, in that sense, and the recent time frame, I've been still working, doing my stuff, etc. With the migration issue, the last 2 months have been busy because there has been very strategic meetings in Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, here in my country, Costa Rica, with the United States. Let's just say that they were less than fruitful in many ways because the United States does not want to listen to us. It Democrats as well as Republicans are just stuck on their ways, and they do not want to listen to what we're saying as civil movements, as the ones we're living here, the ones we've migrated and come back, and the populations of Latin Americans in the United States. Some of them, and mainly the ones more inclined into Republican side, the AKA MAGA or etc., are too close-minded to have a real in-depth conversation in regards to that. But going back to the point of Elon Musk, Elon Musk is just, you know, it's another representation of a loudmouth, ignorant fool who wants to portray himself as a defender of something that doesn't have a fucking clue. I mean, I could go on for hours about freedom of speech. I can bring in the Inter-American Court of Human Rights, the decisions. I can bring 40 different cases in the last 30 years in regards to freedom of speech. Uh, but I think that the main point, not to talk too much, the main point people have to understand is the the standardization of human rights in the last 74 years post-war is something that people have to understand that those rights do not work alone. They work in tandem. They're inalienable, they're interconnected, and you can't just say, "Oh, I stand for freedom of speech," and then turn around and say, I'm against unions. No, because if you look at the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, freedom of speech is Article 18, unions is 4 articles afterwards. It shows to you that it's right there, interconnected. And if we go for political rights, civil rights, etc., well, then you have that very intertwined. So, you know.
Right. No, well, of course. I mean, Elon Musk obviously is no fan of unions. So,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that Tesla is like the one major automaker in the United States that isn't unionized. Hopefully, it's not that way for long.
What's interesting about the unions in the United States versus what has happened in Latin America is I see it as a pertinent relation. The idea of unions in the United States as a cultural aspect has it's very rejected because the United States has a culture of exploitation. Their industries prefer to exploit than to protect. I don't want to generalize, but it seems that even if the attempts of unions um, tend to be more and more in the last 20, 25 years in the United States, I guess that culture is also very there, you know?
Right, right. I mean, unions are making over the past couple of years, been making a bit of a comeback. It's been a joy to see. Um, after decades of basically undermining and chiseling away at unions in the country, there's been a remobilization effort, union drives, unionizations of various industry, some of which I never really would have assumed would even be able to get to that point due to the politics and the way these industries work. So it's been sort of a positive in a sea of negative all over this country. The unionization drives has been a glimmer of hope.
That's true, and in that sense, I was listening to Hansi in regards of the Palestine Israel situation.
Right.
Just 2 days ago, UN was able to establish a ceasefire.
Right
I
after the
couldn't go
U.S.
to
Decided to finally at least
yeah
stay out of it, they didn't they abstained.
yeah. On this occasion, I couldn't be on New York, so I was pretty much connected with my contacts. Very attached in that sense. The reason U.S. abstained is that first because you have a Democrat in the presidency, and second because that particular Democrat can no longer defend the actions of Israel. Um, but there
Well,
is
I
an
think I would say I think he can. I think it's just that the political pressure now, as
yeah.
the war becomes even more unpopular, they're feeling it, and so this is their way of dealing with it. But I think he still defends it. I think he's for it still.
It's interesting because from the perspective of someone like me here in the Western Hemisphere or Western cultures, the aspect of democracy, etc., that we've constructed. Um, the way I view the situation of Israel and Palestine is very simple. I stand with both peoples and the right to exist, the right to be, the right to decide in regards to the future. But one cannot deny that the power balance is imbalanced. Israel has more power than what Palestine could ever do. And that has then generated, for the past 60 years, movements of resistance against that imbalance of power and what culminates to today the reality. The two-state solution is something that still is on the table, and it's in an uncomfortable reality that we need to then poise again. Um, I would stand. I know that standing with the rights of the people um, to exist is also acknowledging that they most possibly will fuck up their own liberties because of the realities that Middle Eastern section and the influence of Abrahamic religions, which are still a horror in the world. Christianity, Catholicism, Islam, etc. All religions that are enabled to be mixed with the confirmation of a republic, of democracy, etc., When you mix religion with politics, you have a secure way of destroying your own self. And that is something that Islam does not understand. That is something that Middle Eastern does not understand, and it's something that we hold extremely dear here in the Western Hemisphere. Ironically enough, this being said from a Costa Rican whose constitution, Article 75, establishes that the official religion of my country is the Apostolic Roman. And we've been trying to change that article to establish that there's no official religion in the state, and no religion has control or monopoly over the state, or the republic or the nation, whichever of the synonyms you want to use referring to a country. Um, I don't see an easy exit in regards to the Israel-Palestine situation. The genocide that Israel is committing against the Palestine people, the ethnical cleansing that they are committing, um, is horrendous. There's no doubt if the power imbalance, if the power had been on the other side, that most possible we would have been seeing a genocide against the Israelites or the Jews, etc. But that's because both sides on this subject just want to destroy each other. And
Well, I mean, I'm sure there are people on
of
both
course,
sides who feel that way and both sides who don't feel that way. But I mean, I don't think it helps to deal with hypotheticals and what if the other side had this power. I mean, we're seeing what's happening in reality, and I think we
no, in
should
reality, yeah.
deal with that. Yeah.
In
Um,
reality, we have an ethnical cleansing happening against the Palestinian people, and that ethnical cleansing has been going on because the errors committed by the construction of Israel as a state through and via the United Nations. Um, and one thing that did happen was that not enough time for a concerted agreement between the parties that were going to be affected by the construction of Israel, by the establishment of Israel as a nation, was given. Why? Because the United States was guilty about how the Jews were treated, and Europe was
right.
extremely guilty about how the Jews were treated. But anti-Judaism, anti-Semitism was still very relevant, so nobody wanted to have the Jews. We're sorry that this happened to you
They
guys.
felt guilty, but not guilty enough.
Exactly. We're sorry that this happened to you guys, but listen, let's give you a country and throw you there, and well, the Muslims are gonna start attacking you, but hey, don't worry, we'll give you weapons and shit like that. Instead of formulating, yes, a plan that would have taken a little more time, but a plan that would sit down the Muslims and say, hey, listen, these people have the right and the right of reclamation as well as you. So you either come in an agreement, or you're going to show to the world that Muslim is intolerant and that your religion will start being affected by that intolerance. You know? But I guess that is just wishful thinking of things. The reality is, in the last 74 years, we've been fucking up every single step of the way, and three countries, three areas that have fucked up big time: Asia with China, Russia, and Europe, and then United States. Coincidentally enough, the Northern Hemisphere.
Yeah, yeah. All right, Dan, great call. Thanks for calling in. Feel free to call in anytime.
Hey, thank you. And before I leave, I wanted to propose to you, because I see you have the leftist mandate, etc. I would like to propose, see the idea. One time with maybe the leftist media, have a conversation in regards to Latin America reality and the
Yes.
politics and the relation with the United States. I would love to come in. I would like to put it on the table, talk it around with your people. I saw your email on the YouTube thing. I'll send you an email,
Yeah, dude,
and
please.
let's have a more in-depth conversation in regards of Latin American history, the impacts, leftism, conservatism, bipartisan, all that reality that happens here, and
Oh,
how similar we are to United States in many ways.
I would love to do that. Thanks for the call, and looking forward to talking with you again soon. Have a great night.
Have a great night. Thank you.
Bye. All right, folks. I think that's gonna be it for today, call wise, because I'm starting to feel tired after my son's soccer practice today. Coaching my son's soccer practice, I'm really starting to feel it. I wanted to give it my all in the phone calls, like I always say, and then the second I start feeling tired, I don't want to give you guys a half-assed call. So if you're trying to call in now, remember what you want to talk about. I will take your calls. I don't even have to remember. When I open Skype next time, I'll see the people whose calls I missed. I will take your calls first and foremost next time, and we'll talk about exactly what you wanted to talk about. Let me read those super chats now. Man Shovel with a super chat. How about craisins in salad? No dried fruits. No, absolutely not. Jay Cass with a super chat. First a cheese phobe, and now a raisin phobe. Yeah, I'm sorry. SMH Matt, shaking my head, Matt. Sorry, Jay. I'm just not a cheese guy, not a raisin guy. Man Shovel with another super chat. Thoughts on prunes and dates? I don't know if I've ever had a prune or a date, actually. Creflo $50 with a $10 super chat. Raisins, mayonnaise, and unseasoned chicken is white people food. And on a side note, the winning Mega Millions ticket was sold in my hometown, and my boss got $30K just for selling the ticket. What? Wait, hold on. The Mega Millions wasn't the Mega Millions like $1 billion? Wow. Someone won $1 billion. Unbelievable. In Jersey. God. They shouldn't. When it gets to be that high, they should split it up. I mean, lottery is bad, period, but no one should be winning $1 billion. I mean, probably the best way, the least harmful way to earn $1 million is to win it in the lottery, actually, but still. What I would do with $1 million, my God. Sean with a super chat. If you're teaching your kid's soccer team, you got to use that as an opportunity to recruit comrades. Check out Gabriel Kuhn's book, Soccer vs. the State, Tackling Football and Radical Politics. I will check that out, but they are 8 and 9-year-olds, so I don't think it's gonna quite work. But yeah, at that age. Tokyo Hans with the super chat. I like how Matt is nice to even people with mic issues. Sam is always like, we can't make you out, gotta go click. Well, I have the ability to do that because a lot less people watching this show. A couple hundred people, but not the thousands that are watching Sam at any given time. Over on Twitch. Let's see. Phantom Spaceman subscribed for 1 month at Tier 1. Thank you so much. Leftist Andy subscribed with Prime. Thank you so much, Leftist Andy. And then over on Patreon, patreon.com/MattBinder. Hold on, let's see where my subscribers are here. Let me shout out Sisyphean Task and Ryan. Thank you so much for becoming patrons at patreon.com/MattBinder. Once again, if you enjoy this show and can afford to do so, please consider becoming a paying subscriber at patreon.com/MattBinder. Your support makes me able to do this. Eagle Left is messaging me. Hey, Matt, did you talk to the Leftist Mafia crew? Not yet. I will. We're going to have time in the coming weeks to have an episode like that. I'll definitely tell them. We've been busy. But yes, I will. Absolutely. All right, folks, that's the show. Have a great night. Oh, who should I rate on Twitch? We got like 70 something people on Twitch. I'm not gonna just oh wait, Looney Tunes 9000 resubscribe for 1 month at tier 1. Thank you. Subscriber for 3 months. Thank you so much, Looney Tunes. Appreciate it. Who should I raid? Who's on right now? Who's on right now? EP? Oh, thank you, Kowalski, for the super sticker. Really appreciate it. Who is on right now? Nothing happened with Leftist Mafia. Eagle Left wants to come on to talk about I always forget how to say the name. Until we're talking about it, obviously. But like off the top of my head, is it the Balak? I'm sorry. I'll remember it for sure next time. I'm just tired. Riverboat Jack's not on right now. Who's Peganox? I see 2 people say Peganox. Let's see who that is. All right, sure. Let's raid Peganox. They got Free Palestine in the chat in their video title. I don't think I've ever rated Peganox before. So let's do it. All right, folks. See you all next time on Doomed. Oh, don't forget, I'll be on Majority Report tomorrow and Leftist Mafia tomorrow. Tune in. All right, see you all next time on Doomed.